Welcome back, riders, to the passenger seat. Happy New Year. It has been some time.
January 18th.
Yeah, it has been some time since our last video. Yeah, we hope you all had a wonderful New Year, or whatever holiday you celebrate. We know we did. So yeah. So we're back at it.
Yeah, we were very fortunate to see each other. Went to Puerto Rico for the New Year, so we saw each other, hanged out, stuff like that. We didn't record a video this time. Had some family things to attend to, but if you must know, our new intro is from the time we spent in Puerto Rico. Really cool, really good to get each other and change that intro up. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes, I was just about to.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed our new intro. Let us know what you think in the comments. And yeah, you know how we do. We're gonna hop right into this. We got nerd news. We got stuff we want to talk about. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We always appreciate y'all. And with that being said, let's go. I'm gonna start us off since it seems that you have more nerd news than I do. And I'm just going to mention real quick, y'all know me, I like talking about TCGs, and I'm going to be talking about the latest drop in Magic the Gathering and some controversy there. First thing is, let's talk about the drop itself. Lorwyn Eclipsed, a very anticipated set in Magic. A lot of people looking forward to it. We're going in-universe for Magic. We've been, in universes beyond for so long. We've had SpongeBob and Final Fantasy and all these other things, right? PlayStation characters. We've had this whole plethora of, what is recognized to be in the Magic the Gathering space, as some people like it. It's a very polarizing subject. Some people love it, some people hate it. But, finally we're back in the Magic universe, the multiverse, whatever, the fuck it's called.
It's the Fortnite effect.
Fortniteism of Magic. Anyways, with Lorwyn Eclipsed, it's been a very well-received set. There's a lot of fun things in this set. For those of you who do play Magic, who have had the chance to pick up the set, first and foremost, right? I think this is the more oh Jesus, I can't speak. This has been this has been one of the most financially what's the word?
Obtainable.
Yeah, financially attainable sets in Magic in the past couple of months. We know everything blew up with Final Fantasy. There was this huge bubble, and now that bubble is sort of burst, and now we can get collector booster boxes to somewhat near MSRP. So, yeah, it's become somewhat affordable again. So for those of you who do play Magic, for those of you who have picked up Lorwyn, let us know down in the comments below how that experience has been for you. And, I'll talk about my experience in just a moment, but let's talk about the controversy here. So the biggest controversy with Lorwyn Eclipse was the terms of quality control. Now, WotC apparently dropped the ball on this one. And in some of the pre-release kits for Lorwyn, there were some cards from an upcoming set that weren't supposed to be in there. So some people got cards from the Ninja Turtles collab way before the release.
Yo, I want to be that lucky person.
I mean, I don't know if you'd call it lucky, because there's some cards that may just not be that great. And especially if you have the like, for example, if you're a person who doesn't like Universes Beyond and you didn't want to be a part of the whole Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, you go to an event expecting Lorwyn Eclipse, and all of a sudden you get TMNT. That can be very frustrating. Yeah. So, for those of people who thought of it as a surprise, well, great. But for those people who got, feel like they got shafted, I'm very sorry. That shouldn't be an issue, right? Quality control is very important for any type of business. Now, let's talk about my experience with Lorwyn Eclipsed. Me and a friend of mine, we typically go halfsies on a collector booster box whenever a new set comes out. One, because it's a little bit more financially responsible for both of us. And, what we do is that we pick up anything that we want and then we sell the rest to recoup at least some of the money back. Now, funny thing is, we open this collector booster box and I tell him, I say, hey, the only thing I want from this, and we'll put it up here, is a card called Spine Rock Tyrant. Okay, it's a dragon card with Wither, and it also gives when you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it copies it, and the instant or sorcery you cast gets Wither and the copy as well. I'm not going to get too much in the mechanics. I'll probably put it up somewhere around here. Anyways, it comes in a couple different versions. It comes like in a regular sort of normal version. It comes in a showcase. It comes in what was previously known, or it's still known as Japanese Showcase. And then it comes in fracture foil. So there's 4 different types of arts you can get on it. And depending on which one, fracture foil being the most expensive, right, it'll vary in price. So here I am opening the booster packs. I tell him, I said, yo, the only card I want from this set is that Spine Rock Tyrant. Cracking like maybe the 3rd pack, and I pop a Japanese Showcase Spine Rock Tyrant. Super excited, dude. I got super hyped about it. And, it's worth maybe somewhere like $60. So, it's a win. Definite hit. And probably like 3 packs later, or two or 3 packs later, and I hit the fracture foil Spine Rock Tyrant. And dude, blew everything out of the water. First of all, that Spine Rock Tyrant currently is listed on TCG Player for $450. So that's super exciting. Unfortunately, I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to try to sell it forward. That way we recoup the money from the collector booster and I get to keep the Japanese Showcase. I don't want to be greedy either. But that was my personal experience with Lorwyn Eclipsed. Writers, let us know down below what your experience has been with Lorwyn Eclipsed. I know, at least personally for me, that's probably as far as I'm going to go with Lorwyn Eclipsed. So, yeah, just let us know down below. I'd love to hear it personally, so feel free. Now, Carlos, you got the floor, my guy, because I know you've got a couple of things regarding nerd news.
All right, so a lot of this nerd news I have was probably from last week, but hey, it's okay, because maybe sometimes you guys want to hear us talk about it. All right, so first thing in nerd news, and this is for my 80s fans, whoever that may be. They're starting to release issues of Thundercats, and Thundercats has been doing very well with, not Boom Studio. I'm forgetting which studio it is, and I do apologize to that studio. The point is, they've been releasing a lot of collabs, too. The last one I've ever talked about was Thundercats and Powerpuff Girls, which is really freaking weird. But this one's not so weird. Their new comics, it's going to be a collaboration with Silverhawks.
Silverhawks!
Yes.
Nice.
It's another 80s franchise, which this one actually does make sense. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, birds in space, cats in space, combining, that. So whoever wants to go pick that up, I believe the release date is in February. So, if you're interested, good luck. The other news I have, which is something people have been talking about, and that is the new Tomb Raider franchise.
Right.
That is happening. It's going to be a series on Prime. So you guys might want to look out for that one if you're interested in the Tomb Raider lore. And it is going to be Tomb Raider herself is going to be played by Sophie Turner. For those of you who don't remember Sophie Turner, she is the eldest Stark sister in Game of Thrones. At the end, she, spoiler alert, becomes the Queen of Winterfell or whatever. She is going to be playing.
If you live under a rock and you haven't gotten to watching Game of Thrones yet, we're very sorry.
And we'll put a photo up because they just released a photo of her dressed in the part. She looked pretty good. A little bit cosplay-y for me because she looks very much like the old video game, and I understand that people can say that's the point, but at the same time, I feel like there needs to be a little bit of a difference of like how she would look like in real life to how she would react in a video game. You know what I mean? Like, what is the practicality of wearing short shorts and a tank top compared to like how you would actually dress for combat situations?
Right.
So, but those who are excited for that show, just know that I think it comes out by maybe the end of the year or something like, because they just started. They announced her. She just announced her costume, so obviously it won't get released until some few time. But if you guys are big fans of Tomb Raider, congratulations.
There you go.
Also, by casting choices, they are working on the live action Tangled. For those of you who don't know, Tangled live action almost got canceled. But due to the success of live action Stitch and the billions of dollars it made, they decided to continue their live action thing, even though some fans aren't too happy about it. They picked two nobodies for Rapunzel and Ryder, which is freaking perfect. Yes, and to be honest, I love it when they do this and they pick nobodies. Like, nobodies in the sense of like, it's not like freaking, what's her name? God, why am I forgetting her name right now? Amanda Seyfried or something playing her. Like then you'll just see Amanda Seyfried. You won't see the actual Rapunzel character.
Yeah, I just love how you call them
about the nobodies.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say I love how you call them nobodies. These people are probably breaking their backs trying to get into acting and trying to build a career, and like this is their big break, and you're just like, yeah, they're just nobodies.
It's Tegan Croft, which is maybe I'm butchering that. Is the girl who's playing Rapunzel, and Milo Manham, which is also playing Finn Rider. So lucky for them, good for them. That's cool. They looked the part. You see the photos, they looked the part. I think the one that people are most excited about is the girl who is playing Mother Gothel, which is the villain of Tangled. It is Catherine Han, which you guys might recognize her as Agatha from WandaVision and from the show Agatha All Along in the MCU verse.
Nice.
And good choice. She's obviously not a nobody. She's a big name, so I think maybe they just stuck her in there to really sell it. Last piece of nerd news, obviously, for those of you who aren't living under a rock, or maybe living under a rock, and I can tell you, they just released Euphoria trailer. Season 3, right?
Yes.
They finally released the trailer. Which I know a lot of fans have been waiting for it, but obviously, and you can go see a trailer for yourselves, but I'll just go ahead and explain some of it to you. It is based a little bit in the future. They are out of high school. They are doing their own things. They have jobs. They have lives. They own houses. And some of the characters aren't there anymore because some of the actors decided not to return. Now, I must remind you that one of the actors did die in real life, caused a lot of the other actors not to return, felt like continuing the show was not really right. And so it took maybe a 2-year, almost 3-year hiatus for the show to even continue on.
Yeah, R.I.P.
But it's on YouTube.
R.I.P. Angus Cloud. Let's go.
Yeah, so check it out on YouTube. It's interesting. You'll recognize some of the faces, but obviously you'll also be a little tripped out because they've gone way past high school, which I guess it makes it a little bit more appropriate now, you would say. Well, you can see Sweeney dressed as a dog.
Yeah, I saw that. She's a content creator. Very good. Very
and
good.
That's all the nerd news I have for you guys.
Okay. So before we get into like our main topic, I do want to mention two things real quick. I checked out, this is just a little section where it's not new. It's just stuff that I checked out recently and I'd like to share. I saw 2 movies. One, I can't remember the name. I literally just watched it, dude. It's the one where Keanu Reeves and oh god,
Is it where he's an angel?
No.
Oh, not that one?
No, it's not a new movie. It's the one where Keanu Reeves is a lawyer.
The Devil's Advocate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I checked that out today.
Movie.
Yeah, I know. I never got around to watching it, so I thought I'd share today. Pretty interesting, but the real spotlight was the movie I actually watched yesterday, which was Magazine Dreams. I don't know if you got it.
Oh, with what's his name? Mr. Cancelled. It's escaping me, dude. So bad.
I'll look it up. I'm sorry. Because I had the name too. Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. Thank you.
So let me tell.
Never saw it though.
Let me tell you something. You should. If you want to feel really uncomfortable, like extremely uncomfortable, like in a way that you're like, oh, I want to watch a movie that makes me feel something. Like Magazine Dreams is one of those movies, my guy. Like literally, putting the whatever situation controversy aside, Jonathan Majors put on a really good performance in this movie, in a point where I was literally at moments, and I'm not really too squeamish, right, with watching movies. There was certain points where I was like, Jesus Christ, this is hard to watch. So it's like that scene in Hereditary. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Hereditary, writers, just stop right here and skip. We'll put something up here so you can skip. It's a part in Hereditary where the sister gets her head decapitated, and
and then a big moment of silence.
And then that big moment of silence of like when the mother wakes up and finds her in that whole tension like feeling. It's really uncomfortable to like sit there. Like I had to pause the movie at one point and like walk away because I was like, it was really cringy at one point. Like not cringy like bad cringe, like oh my god, like stop doing what you're doing, my guy. And it's just acting. So
Jesus.
So yeah, if you want a movie that'll make you feel something like feel, then definitely check out Magazine Dreams. I definitely recommend. Anyways, getting into our, the topic that we actually wanted to talk about, because we're obviously making big waves. It has been making big waves ever since the new year, and it's the brand new season of JJK. For all of you writers, that we follow along JJK. I got Carlos into watching, JJK. He had tried watching at one point, didn't really like it. I convinced him to watch. Yeah,
Hey, season 1 is weak.
Season 1 is pretty weak. It's true, but here's the thing. In retrospect, I'm just gonna make this quick statement so we can get into talking about season 3. In retrospect, the thing about JJK is that I've noticed there's so much shit that they try to make up for with all the dialogue. And even with all the dialogue, they still don't get enough crammed in there. In comparison to the manga. And so there's so many details that you miss in the anime because you don't know the context. And if you read the manga and you looked at the show, you'd be like, oh shit, like, okay, now I understand why certain things are this way. Now, full transparency, I've spoiled a lot of things for myself already. But I'm glad I did, because as we watch these episodes, I know Carlos is very spoiler avoidant. So there's going to be a lot of things where maybe if you don't catch on, I can explain those things to you as they go, moving forward.
Right.
So, at least, one of us has like a little insight based on reviews that I've seen, like in comparisons to the manga, XYZ, all that stuff. Now, talking about the new season, those first 2 episodes, my guy, which was essentially the movie, from what I've heard. I didn't go watch a movie, unfortunately. I really wanted to.
How can it be the movie? That would only make it 40 minutes long.
So it was a recap of the Shibuya incident and Hidden Inventory. Or I think it's Hidden Inventory, and then it's the 2 episodes from season 3. I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
And so it's exactly the same, apparently, from what I've heard. It's exactly the same. So it might not, it's not even worth to watch the movie, I guess. I'll still check it out once it comes out in streaming services, but for those of you who maybe haven't watched it, just maybe keep that in mind, or correct us if we're wrong. Now, what did you think about the first 2 episodes, though?
Honestly, what's crazy is MAPPA really does its thing. MAPPA is on top of the map for a reason, honestly. Their animation style is fucking crazy, dude. And they do an extremely good job. Dude. I really have to give it to them. There's their animation style. this vibrantness, especially with the use of colors of when he was fighting the different curses or whatever, and the blood was coming out and it was purple, and you saw some yellow, and you just saw these different things, and it was so, the animation for it is so like beautiful style at the same time, like I don't even know how to explain it. It was good. And even the fight scenes, obviously, you can't forget that, when they're actually the combat situations, the way they move their hands, their feet, all this stuff, they really do a wonderful animation, honestly. I hope those guys do take a break sometimes, because they deserve it.
Someday.
They deserve it. They do. They honestly do. Obviously, we're getting this introduction type-esque thing with these brothers, and this blonde brother who specifically is kind of like a Malfoy. He might as well come in there and say Potter.
Wow. Okay.
But he was the guy who the animation where he just slicked his hair back while he was throwing a punch, and I was there like, yo, for real?
Dude, mid-fade.
I was like, you disgraced this man, bro. Disgrace. But you know what?
And hitting an emo is crazy.
You know what though? He did it to the Blood Boy, bro. And I gotta say it. I got that second episode. He got him back though.
Yeah.
He got him back because he beat the shit out of his blood work on the second episode. I was impressed.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Choza.
Yeah.
Okay, I see how it's bro. It was so good. You guys have to, if you guys haven't seen it, and obviously right now, this is spoilers already, but the way he did that and the way the animation style was when the blood finally hit and it was like black and white, and then like the red, you see some red. It was just so brilliantly done, the animation style for it, and the fight scene and the way he got him back. I actually really enjoyed that fight scene with the blood guy and the blonde dude. And I'm gonna be real, and I know a lot of people are probably gonna be like, what are you talking about? It was more exciting than the fight between Yuji and the other dude.
Okay, fair.
For me.
Fair. I see where you're coming at with that point of view. Okay, so you didn't talk. Okay, so obviously we mentioned the first two episodes. For me,
and you know, obviously, like I forgot to mention the part of the end where they meet up with everyone else, and
right.
Yeah, you'll get into that.
And then they get to Tengen, yes. So, obviously, right, we come back at the start of the season with obviously Yuji recovering from everything from the Shibuya incident. Totally different, like, you know, the way he's handling stuff and the way he's carrying himself. For me, there were, you know, you were right on the money. Mappa is doing an absolutely spectacular job. I remember the first thing, I haven't even watched season 3 of One Punch Man, and all I could say was,
oh dude, no, don't.
All I could say was, I bet 100% that like the first 5 minutes of this is better than the entire season of One Punch Man.
It's pretty bad. And
you know, there's a couple of standout shots for me. The OST is spectacular, but there was two scenes that really stood out to me. One was where they're in like this building that's like almost like a chapel, and it's all red, where Yuji sits on the stairs.
I remember that.
Dude, that scene for me was just absolute perfection. The way they like, it was red on red on red, but it was beautiful. For me, it was just absolutely fantastic. And then obviously I want to say like basically the entire, well, let me section it off to one single part. Was the part where Yuji's washing his hands. There was so much detail in just the hands of him washing the blood off at the beginning.
That people who watch One Punch Man through a table.
Dude, it was nuts. Okay. So we saw the interdealings of the Zenin family. Obviously we gotten a little bit of a backstory of them before, given, you know, the situation with Mai and Maki, and obviously anybody from the Zenin clan. We see that it's one of those tropes, right, where it's this family was like, if you're not the best, you really don't serve a purpose here.
Yeah.
And basically it's that, but with cursed energy. It's like, if you don't have a really good curse technique, obviously we see that when Toji was deemed basically worthless because he didn't have a curse technique, and he had to sell Megumi, which they were basically saying like, okay, how much is he worth based on his curse technique, right? So obviously we see the inner dealings of the Zenin family. We see Naoya, we see Jinichi, we see the other dude who his name fails me. But yeah, very interesting.
The fact that you can remember those names.
Very interesting dynamic there. Remember, I've been getting spoiled a lot, so I've been watching a lot of videos. So that's very interesting. We're gonna see how that plays into like the whole story, right? And then obviously we see that whole interaction between Yuta and Yuji, which that's something that I didn't get spoiled. So it was pretty interesting to see how that resolved. Because in my mind, I was like, so what's going to happen when they fight? Like, what's going on? And then when the plot twist was revealed, it was actually a surprise for me because I didn't get spoiled that specific part. So it was fun, right? To see basically Yuta was entrusted to protect the first and second years.
Yeah.
And yeah, that you're right. I see what you're saying with Naoya versus Choso, how that fight was a lot more dynamic. There was, first of all, it was probably longer than Yuta and Yuji's fight. Even though Yuta and Yuji, there was a couple cool sequences in that.
Yo, did you not, like, I know that you've been spoiled, but for people who haven't been spoiled, when he kills him and you see Sukuna sitting there, I was like, oh, it's on. And then it didn't happen, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
That's the thing. The whole Yuta Yuji thing, I didn't know. So when I saw Sukuna there, I was like, "What's gonna happen?" But yeah, no, you're right. It totally faked us out. But I think Sukuna knew at that point, like, "Oh, this dude's using reverse curse technique." So I don't know. Or maybe it's the fact that
he probably did.
Or it's maybe the fact that Sukuna couldn't take over the body because, last time he took over Yuji's body forcefully was because he got fed a shit ton of fingers. So maybe Sukuna can't really do anything. But anyways, besides the point, there were a couple of cool scenes between Yuta and Yuji, like Yuji going to the car, picking up the blade, which was randomly sitting in a car for some reason. We're not going to talk about that slight thing, right, where he just randomly picks up a blade in some car. And then obviously the whole thing with episode 2, where they eventually get to Tengen. Anyways,
yeah.
Moving on to episode 3. Sorry to culminate episode 1 and 2, but let's talk about 3. Oh, because we had a slight glimpse into what they were going to talk about in episode 3 and episode 2, which is the culling.
Yeah. But yeah, let me tell you something. There's a part I think it was in episode 1. It pissed me off because I felt like they did it on purpose, where Yuji, like, he's doing, I don't know what he was doing. He was having a conversation, and he ends the conversation, and then all of a sudden you get a glimpse of, like, I think a skyscraper or something, and all of a sudden you hear. I was like, is that? And then it was just Yuji doing this on a bridge, trying to get the attention of all curses. I was like, bro.
Well, yeah.
I was like, bro, really?
The thing is, they're piecing it together to the end of season 2. There's another really quick thing that I have to mention is that when Yuji,
I thought it was Toto. I definitely thought it was him. I was like, oh, when I heard the clap, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting you to say that, but it's like, it didn't really piss me off. It was just like, oh, what a cool little way to like reintegrate everything and put everything back on track. What I was gonna say,
it did show Toto for a little bit.
Yeah, for a little bit. But yeah, in the second episode, as I failed to mention, when Yuji had his death, right? There was a moment where he had a flashback to his father, and the conversation he had with his he was having it with his grandfather, Yuji's grandfather. And I don't know, obviously you must have caught on to this, but first of all, Choso was trying to talk Yuji into making him, like, convince him, like, I'm your brother, right? Because we're connected somehow. Like, I realize that we're connected, and I can sense, whatever. So we obviously must be brothers. And he's trying to tell him, like, try to remember your dad had to have stitches, right? Basically signifying, because if you remember back to season 2, Kenjaku, the thing that's in Ghetto, is basically Choso's dad.
Okay.
And that thing has been roaming around for like 1,000 years. And so Choso's trying to tell him, like, we're connected because of Kenjaku, or not Kenjaku. He has another name.
Krang.
Sure. Krang. But anyways, Kamo. Something Kamo. Point is, Kamo was Choso's dad in all of the death paintings, right? All the siblings. And when we go back to the flashback, we see that it wasn't Yuji's dad who had the stitches. It was his mom.
Yeah.
So that means this thing took control over his mom's body, took back shots from Yuji's dad, and is now...
That's actually not how I was thinking about it, but yes, you're right.
This is a term colloquially known as a Kenjussi.
Oh, jeez.
Anyways, so yeah, we see the connection there.
About that, but thank you for that.
You're welcome. So we see the connection there, which is it's a really big plot twist. For those of you who didn't catch it, hopefully that illuminated somewhat. But anyways, we get a brief glimpse into the rules of the culling game. Obviously, I sent you a video of the rules of the culling game without any spoilers before you watch the episodes. Hopefully to serve as like some type of, but then we get into episode 3. And episode 3 is basically just a whole explanation of the culling games, but a lot more fucking... It's like a fever dream. There's so much shit going on screen between subtitles, the words on the screen, and everything everywhere. This has to be the episode in the season, like episode 5 or 6 season 2. No, episode 6 of season 2. One of the episodes in season 2 where it was just like a slice of life kind of day. It was like that one episode in the entirety of season 2 where it's just like, oh, okay, it's there. This has to be that episode.
I honestly felt like it was hard.
Yeah.
It was so hard to watch episode 3. Like, I'm not gonna lie with you. Like, I get what you're doing. You're explaining everything, but at the same time, I was like, bro, there's gotta be an easier way to do this where you, like, I feel like I'm not like waiting for this episode to end or move forward.
The problem is this, and there's a really big, there's this back and forth in the JJK community, in the fandom, because there's those who read the rules and understand the rules, and those who don't. And that's a big problem, because you need to know the rules to understand everything that's going to happen from this point moving forward. So I'm telling you this right now. It's so important that you know the rules. Like, you got that.
But they show you the rules on the second episode if you just pause it and read it.
Yes, but that's the problem. You read it. Not everybody read it. Everybody just saw it. Some people saw it and were like, whatever.
Oh my god, how would you not read that?
There's people.
I think that was my issue, is the fact that, like, I read it and I was like, okay, cool. That sounds like some Hunger Games type shit. Like, it sounds like it's about to go down against many different people. And then episode 3 happened and I was like, okay, I got it. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just a lot of information.
Fair. But I think they did it for the people who, like, weren't paying attention when that shit flashed up on the screen for like 2 seconds and left. But here's what I will...
Also, doesn't that guy kind of remind you of the dude in My Hero who does cement powers?
Oh yeah, cement talks. Anyways, going back to episode 3, the problem that I had with episode 3 was, okay, yes, we see what you're trying to do, but it's just everything, all over the place. And it doesn't really, I think for somebody who can't really, you know what I mean? They're going to lose track and you're going to end up losing them.
It was a lot, especially because for a lot of American audiences, you're so used to watching something in Japanese. That means you have to read the subtitles.
Yes.
But along reading the subtitles, you have to read everything that was around the screen as well. Mm-hmm. So I think that's also what made it a little bit difficult for people. Maybe it'll be different if you watch that episode dub.
Yeah.
So you can listen and then read at the same time.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I think you may be right, but we'll just have to see. From what I've heard, or from what I've seen, apparently there was some issues with translation from the manga to the screen with some things. So we're gonna have to see how it eventually results in dub. Anyways, so yeah, episode 3. What we did get though was obviously the tasks that everyone has assigned to do. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. Why? Because they mentioned a character that I believe personally, I think there are going to be a lot of characters that you're really going to enjoy this season. But this one that they mentioned personally is something that I'm really looking forward to, and that is Hikari. And Hikari, like Yuta said, it was the guy who got suspended or expelled from JJK.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be super fun. I'm not going to say more than that because I don't want to spoil anything. But that's super exciting. And then we got to see a couple of other characters, right? Was that in episode 3? I think so. Episode 3 was the comedian guy. Remember, he was
the comedian. Oh yeah, that weird segue into so fucking weird, dude.
Okay,
I know who you're talking about.
Cool. So we got to see a couple of these people that are getting presented to us for some reason or the other. We got mentioned Angel, which is going to be huge to freeing Satoru Gojo.
A lot of these people, you can definitely see them in the intro. Like if you focus on the intro, a lot of these people you can see are going to be some of the key players they keep mentioning.
Yes. So that's really exciting. But anyways, now that, the rules of the culling game are sufficiently explained, now that everybody's got their tasks, everything from here on out should be just action-packed. So I'm expecting that episode 3 was that point in season 2, that like slice of life day where it was just like, it's there. I feel like episode 3 in this season is, it's there. Everything else should just be fucking amazing.
This is an episode that when you rewatch this season, you'll skip it.
Probably 100%. Now, here's what
I think it's gonna go. I think it's gonna go ham. I don't have any spoilers, but I feel like after this episode, they're like, okay, we're ready. And I feel like they're gonna go ham.
I have a semi-spoiler for you, but it's not so much of what happens in the show, more as this is for you to avoid disappointment. Now, writers, warning. If you don't want to hear this, I can't really say what it's about, but if you don't want to hear this, please skip to the time on screen. I'm going to give you 2 seconds here. 1, 2. Okay. So, to avoid disappointment, I believe there's either going to be a second part to the season, or the season is going to end up either incomplete, and then we'll have to wait for the next season for the actual culmination of the culling games, or we're going to get up to a very hype point, and then the culmination is going to come in the form of a movie.
That'd be interesting.
That's what I'm saying right now. There's a lot of speculation going on.
Start gaining popularity.
Yes, it would make sense. There's a lot of speculation going around. I wouldn't be surprised if they took that route. But I'm just saying to avoid disappointment, because you're probably going to say how the hell are they going to wrap this thing up in 24 episodes? They may not. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Anyways, that's all I had to say on JJK. Within the next couple of riders, we're going to be talking about JJK as it releases, because obviously we record these typically after Thursdays. So we'll, have watched the latest episode of JJK, and hopefully by the next week we'll be releasing the video, which we'll talk about the episode and review from that point.
But right now we had to talk about 3 episodes, so the time frames will be a little bit shorter. Just talking about 1.
Definitely.
This was just us trying to accumulate 3 in 1.
Right. With that being said, writers, thank you so much for joining us today, whatever time zone you're in. I always say that. Anyways, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We always appreciate y'all. Let us know down in the comments below everything, anything and everything of what we talked about, whether it's the intro, whether it's the nerd news we talked about today, whether it's JJK season 3, whatever it is, let us know down below. We always appreciate your support. And with that being said, y'all take care. Peace out.
Peace.